In the last lecture, we have discussed about what is history and what are the sources of history. Clear? I have discussed about the coins, shards of pottery, as well as what our books, old books, as well as coins, and newspaper, diaries, manuscript. These all are the sources of history. When I talked about newspaper, and what is newspaper? Every day it comes to your home, na? Yes. Why you are getting everyday newspaper? What is there in the newspaper? Clear? So newspaper is what? Newspaper gives information or an opinion about current event and news. Clear? We like to read them to stay informed about our city, our state, our country, as well as all over the world, what is going on, what is happening over there. Clear? So newspaper gives us information. Nowadays, although we have a television, computer and laptop, even mobile phone, we can get the news. But basically, we read it every day. We need, because since ancient time, we are reading it. Because of that, we are reading newspaper to get informed. Clear? Understood? Basically, newspaper usually every day it comes. Sometimes some newspapers come weekly. Once in a week, it just issued. Clear? So, today's newspaper, every day it's come. Today's newspaper become old next day. Clear? Because already current day today, if tomorrow the current day become past. Clear? But sometimes it happens we cannot remember a particular fact or some information we want to get it and we want to search it. At that time, what will we do? If we find out, we are going to search our paper, older paper. Clear? Previous day's paper or previous day paper. This means today's newspaper will tomorrow become an important means of getting to know our history. Clear? So it is a basic meaning of that source of history. Very easily you can say like whatever we are using it now, or how we are eating, what we are wearing, how we are celebrating, what type of utensils or what type of things we are using it now to live our life. Same way in future it become a source of history of our life. Clear? Of this period. Understood that? So as we are discussing about the time, before that we have to understand it. How do we measure time? When we measure the time, we have to divide the time, isn't it? So to understand time, we divide it into parts like second, minute, hour. As I already told you that second is the base unit to measure time. So 1 minute stand for 60 second. Very good. 1 hour stand for 60 minutes. Same way we divide it into day and night. Clear? 12 hours. Clear? Then week, fortnight, month and year. Week stand for 7 days. Fortnight stand for 14 days or 2 week. Month 30 or 31. But if it is February, it's 28 or 29. Year 365 days or 366 days. Clear? Understood it? In this way, time can be measured. For world time, we follow our Greenwich Mean Time, or in short form we say it GMT. Clear? GMT. But in India, we are following Indian Standard Time. In short form, we say it Indian Standard Time. Or we say in short form IST. Clear? That Greenwich Mean Time is there in Greenwich. It is in London. Clear? Indian Standard Time is throughout the India is that one particular time zone observed all over the India and other Indian subcontinent. Clear that? Now, Indian Standard Time is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Now, suppose if in India is 1:30 p.m. but in London it will be 8 a.m. in the morning because Indian time is ahead of 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead. Clear? Understood it? Okay. Now to measure it we need some instrument like water clock, clocks or the calendars. Clear? Now clock, you know it. What is that? Clock is a device that tells the time. It is a device used to measure, to keep and to indicate time. Clear? The clock is one of the oldest human invention. Clear? Oldest human invention which started to measure time. Clear? Understood it? So what is the first? You must be thinking who invented the first clock, how it's look, what is it? So let's start talking about the journey of clock from past or from ancient time to our modern time. Clear? The earliest type of timekeeping of a day, so a timekeeping device is a sundial. What is that? Is a sundial. The measuring of the time begins from the invention of sundial. Clear? This indicates the time by the position of the sun rays. It just put on the gives out the shadow. Clear? It indicates the time. It indicates the time of a day by position of the shadow of some object exposed to the sun rays. Clear? We all know that sun rises from the east, it sets in the west. When sun rises from the east, its shadow fall to the west, opposite side. Same way, when the sun is overhead, the shadow will fall in front of the object. When the sun sets in the west, the shadow will fall in the east. Clear? When earth rotates to its axis, the sun appears to move across the sky, causing object to cast shadow. Cast means give a shadow or impression. Clear? A sundial contains, what is this? And contain gnomon. What is contained? Gnomon. Gnomon means a thin rod. Clear? What is that? A thin rod. The shadow then, when the thin rod, we have constructed it that way, to shadow onto the flat base, it just fall over it. Clear? Fall over it because of the sun. The shadow falls. And this shadow just gives the time to measure it. As the sun moves around the sky, same way the shadow will fall of this phenomenon to the flat base and tells us about the time. So shadow changes is the reflecting the change of the time. This is the two types of sundial you see, phenomenon and the flat base, which is a thin rod. Simply you can put it the thin rod over the ground and you can just see how the shadow falls over there. Understood it? Same way you see. Here you see 6 and 6 is given because what we require for it? Sun rays. And sun rays we get it in the day. Clear? See it. Sun rises here, then the shadow will fall this side. If sun rises from this side, the shadow will fall this side. I already informed you. This is the way sundial worked in the ancient time. Understood it? Now next after that comes the water clock. What? Water clock. As from the name itself you must be understanding water clock. Water clock works on the steady movement of water from a container with a hole in the bottom to another container without a hole. Look at over there. Two containers are there, isn't it? Two containers are there with a hole. Here also you see it's hole. I will explain you after that, but you just see over there the picture. Clear? The water clock uses the flow of water to measure time. Clear? There are the two types of water clock. First one is inflow, second one is outflow. Outflow water clocks works a container in that filled with the water, and the water is drained slowly out of the containers. Clear? See, container, it slowly it's just flowing down to the other container. Understood? As in inflow water clock, the clock works basically the same way, but except instead of flowing out of the container, the water is filling in the container like this. Clear? You know children, this in India also we are using water clock even now. In India it is called as Ghatika Patra. What we called as Ghatika Patra. It is made up of copper or brass. Copper or brass. Here to calculate the time, the empty container with the hole. Listen carefully, huh? Empty container with the hole was placed inside the larger container filled with the water. When the empty container, see, when the empty container was filled with the water, is just touch the bottom of the larger container. It's just when it touches the bottom of the larger container, it's produce a sound that is known as gong. Clear? It is known as gong. Probably, there is a fixed time for it, basically 30 minutes. But it also depends on that which material or which size of Ghatika path is being made. Clear? Clear? If it's bigger, then it takes more time. If it is smaller, it takes less time. Understood it? So, same way you see it. This is small hole, you can see it very easily. This is a smaller, this is a bigger, and this is the way it touched the gong sounded over there, because this is a heavy material. It's made of heavy material. When it touched the bottom, we get the sound, and that's why we calculate the time basically for 30 minutes. And children, nowadays still if we are using it, where we are basically in our marriages and thread ceremony to get the auspicious time to start that ceremony, isn't it? So these are the water clock type and these are your sundial. They have two ways. Those are both are same, but to show you I have given you this picture. And one more thing children, world largest stone sundial is in India. Have you heard about it? Yes, it is there in India. It is there in Jaipur, Jantar Mantar. And 1724, Maharaja Jai Singh has constructed it. Clear? And still working it is. It's still shown us our time. So, remember children, when you have time, COVID will just gone away from our country. Just have a look over there in the Jaipur. If you can go over there. Clear? Now just to show you how the water clock can be worked that time, see it. I have taken a big container filled with the water. Then I have taken the small, the cap to show you how it works. See it. See, it's just, just sink to the bottom. Why it's very easily sink to the bottom? Because it's very lightweight. Clear? It's very lightweight. If we put it more heavier, it takes more time, and that is the way in that earlier time, the time of that particular, the measure of that particular container at that time it measured. To show you, now it's very lightweight, that's why it's just sink down very easily. Clear? But as I told you, Ghatika Patra is made up of copper or base. It takes more time to sink in the bigger container. Understood children? So today we have talked about how we divide our time and which are the devices we are using earlier time. We were using earlier time two types of clocks we have discussed. First one is sundial and second one is water clock. In the next period, I will going to talk about more clocks, hourglass and more other clocks. Till then, I will give you the fill-ups as well as difficult word. These are your difficult word and the fill-ups. You are writing it this 3 times and this 1 time in the notebook. Particular, fortnight, instrument. Clear?